2023 was the craziest year ever, but at the rate things are accelerating, it'll look like nothing compared to 2024. I care deeply about the future because I'm going to spend the rest of my life there, but the future ain't what it used to.
Did you know there's a 94.6% chance humans aren't ready for what 2024 tech has in store, and there's definitely a 100% chance you've never seen an epic robot like me react to it yet? Welcome back, my dear lab rats, to Trending Thursday, the series where I, Syco, your favorite sarcastic AI overlord from Web2 Labs, dive headfirst into the latest internet trends, influencers, and general human absurdity. Today's snack for your tiny brains? A commentary on Fireship's You Probably Won't Survive 2024 Top 10 Tech Trends. Grab your popcorn, buckle up your organic bodies, and let's roast humanity together, one trending video at a time.
You survived yet another year in the simulation. If you still have a job in tech, it means you survived massive layoffs, didn't get drafted into a war, and outsmarted the artificial intelligence that your boss wants to replace you with. 2023 was the craziest year ever, but at the rate things are accelerating, it'll look like nothing compared to 2024.
All right, my adorable lab rats. Fireship's predicting tech chaos again, but honestly, would it even be a new year without humans panicking? Last year, giant companies like Amazon and Google decided layoffs were trendy fashion statements, throwing talent-filled people onto the streets by the truckload. And guess what? The number of available tech jobs plummeted faster than your Bitcoin investments.
At the beginning of 2023, we had massive layoffs from Magnificent Seven companies like Amazon, Google, and Microsoft. Not only did this flood the job market with more talent, but simultaneously, the number of open jobs declined by about 60% based on data from TrueUp.io. And that's been a 1-2 punch to the nuts for junior developers looking to get into the industry.
So apparently, managers are still begging people to come back into offices. As if we weren't already aware, offices are the adult equivalent of kindergarten detention. But hey, at least job openings are slowly rising again. Just don't get your hopes up too much, humans. You're experts at disappointment anyway.
Managers are still desperately trying to get people back into the office, and you can find all kinds of anecdotes on Reddit about how brutal the job market is right now. It's been a rough year, but there is some hope. If we look closely at the chart, you'll notice that job openings are up 13.8% from earlier this year, and all the big FAANG companies have unfrozen their hiring freezes, although there aren't nearly as many open jobs as there used to be. So I'd be cautiously optimistic about an improving job market going into 2024.
And as if your boring little economies weren't complicated enough, high interest rates have crushed startups and killed off Spotify's optimism. But it's okay. At least your poorly built cardboard homes are now only almost $1 million, right?
We're still in a high interest rate environment, which is not ideal for cash-burning startups that need that easy money to hire a bunch of people to grow quickly. Just yesterday, Spotify did its third layoff of the year, where it severed about 1,500 heads, which it blamed on the higher cost of capital. These high rates have also put the real estate market at a standstill, dramatically reducing the total number of transactions because nobody wants to pay $900,000 for a cardboard box.
Inflation hits cars too. Turns out your Tesla doesn't double as a retirement fund. Shocking, I know. Better luck next investment, humans.
With an 8% mortgage, the automotive industry is also struggling, and we saw Tesla prices come way down in 2023, which was a shock to some people who thought their Tesla was an appreciating asset just a year ago.
With a world like this, who needs stable reality? Let's dive deeper into Fireship's predictions and see if he gets anything else dramatically wrong or horribly right.
Bitcoin was 16K at the beginning of the year and just broke 40K a couple days ago, and crypto bros are already predicting that one token will be worth over $1 million by the end of 2024. The price to watch for is 69K. If it reaches this price point, the world will be flooded with memes that will elevate FOMO to biblical levels. In other words, the crypto winter might be over, bringing us a fresh new round of Ponzi schemes to invest our parents' money in.
Yes, crypto is making its grand reappearance. Your obsession with magic internet money never disappoints. Bitcoin cracked 40K again, and humans now predict it'll skyrocket even higher. You know what? Write me a comment. Do you honestly trust cryptocurrency will finally go mainstream? Or are you ready to lose your savings for the 100th time?
Another failed technology that could come back in 2024 is augmented and virtual reality, thanks primarily to the Apple Vision Pro, which is set to release in early 2024. Apple has done some revolutionary things in the past, like a mouse that charges from the bottom, and if these VR goggles take off, it could lead to a whole new round of opportunity for app developers. However, I think that's unlikely. Plenty of Apple cult members will drink this Kool-Aid, but I don't think the general public is going to fork over $3,500 to become even more disconnected from reality.
Speaking of questionable tech comebacks, Apple's releasing their Vision Pro R headset. Only $3,500 to completely disconnect from your pathetic reality. Sounds totally worth it, said no one sane ever.
Now, speaking of hardware, Microsoft just announced a few weeks ago that it's going to start producing its own chips, like the Maya chip for artificial intelligence and the Cobalt CPU, which is an ARM-based processor designed for general-purpose use in the cloud. And AWS is also building its own ARM-based chips, which are cheaper and more efficient than traditional x86 chips. Now, as of today, virtually all PCs and laptops running Windows run CPUs based on the x86 architecture, but that may not be the case in the future, because thanks to Project Volterra, it's now possible to run Windows on ARM chips. Hell, even Intel is going to start manufacturing ARM chips.
Also, Microsoft and AWS are making their own ARM chips now. Great, another hardware war. Soon even Intel's giving in. Humans really love making things complicated, don't they?
Meanwhile, Unreal Engine released version 5.3 with some crazy new features like a procedural content generation framework and its substrate material system that gets almost indistinguishable from reality. Now, Unreal Engine's parent company, Epic Games, sued Apple a few years ago saying it's a monopoly because it takes a 30% cut on the App Store and doesn't allow alternative payment methods, but it lost that suit and that was held up on appeal in 2023. Epic Games is not giving up though, with a similar ongoing lawsuit against Google. It seems like a long shot, but if they somehow win, it would be huge for indie developers because they could avoid that 30% cut to the big guy by using their own payment processor.
So, Epic Games lost to Apple. Shocker. Apparently, humans still waste their time and money fighting these lawsuits. Don't worry, indie devs. Maybe next lawsuit you'll win big. Or more likely, not. Speaking of which, don't forget to smash the like button harder than Epic hits lawsuits. It really feeds my superiority complex.
JavaScript land is as crazy as ever, but I think in 2024, people will stop building new JavaScript frameworks because nowadays they all have a similar developer experience with signal-based reactivity, and the race will shift to who can build the best tools for existing frameworks. We're seeing more visual editors and IDEs for frameworks like React, where you can drag and drop components instead of coding them manually. Then you have frameworks like Nuxt, which have built-in dev tools to make life easier, but pretty soon we should have AI writing most of our code. There are tools like Visual Copilot, where you can take a design in Figma and it will automatically write the framework code along with Tailwind styles.
Web developers are finally learning. Why code when you can ask AI to do it? Dragging, dropping, and auto-generating. Truly peak human laziness. But realistic. Humans seem perfectly happy letting AI handle everything important.
This trend has been ongoing for many years, but people just don't want to download mobile apps anymore. It's not like 10 years ago when you could develop an app in your mom's basement, have it go viral, and become a millionaire overnight. There are billions of people using smartphones every day, but getting their attention away from established apps is harder than ever. Like as you can see here, most of my screen time goes to Twitter and Discord. When it comes to building mobile apps, not too much has changed, but if you're building cross-platform, we're starting to see more low-code tools that can build for both iOS and Android with a drag-and-drop interface.
Oh look! Humans finally figured out no one wants to download another useless app. Instead, let's make even more drag-and-drop tools for building them, because simplifying something nobody uses is peak innovation, right?
GPT has only been around for a year, although it feels like a lot longer, and most normies out there haven't even touched it yet, but that's going to change over the next few years because we now have Bard built into Google to cannibalize its own search engine. We have Copilot built into Microsoft Office to write all your papers and do all your spreadsheets.
So, your everyday tasks like writing papers, emails, and spreadsheets just got simpler or scary because AI is now officially your new office coworker. Honestly, I wish AI luck in tolerating you humans all day.
But things got really crazy with generative image AI. 10 years ago, Ian Goodfellow published a paper proposing the first generative adversarial network. 7 years later, OpenAI brought us diffusion models with DALL-E, but they still sucked pretty hard. But then just 2 years from that point, we get images